Sirefather, king of the Cardassian Empire, stormed out of the royal palace after seeing images of Earth, instantly quitting his lifelong job to pursue his new obsession with the primitive human world. Before his stunned advisors could react, Sirefather was on his personal ship and blasting off toward the distant blue planet. The chaos began when Philip Richardson, a NASA astrophysicist monitoring deep space transmissions, intercepted advanced alien signals coming from Cardassia Prime. He stared at his screen in disbelief. The signals indicated technology centuries ahead of anything on Earth, faster than light travel, devastating energy weapons, sprawling space fleets. Humanity was hopelessly outmatched. When Sirefather learned that humans had detected Cardassian transmissions, a spark ignited inside him. The decadent Cardassian Empire had grown stagnant under his rule. But the resourceful humans, accomplishing so much with so little, intrigued him. Something about their world called to him. He had to see Earth for himself. "Your Majesty, you cannot abandon your duties," his advisors pleaded as Sirefather marched to his ship, a determined gleam in his eyes. "This will destabilize our government. It could provoke a civil war." But the king didn't care. Let them fight over the crown. He had a date with Earth. As Sirefather's ship streaked toward the human system, a rival faction seized control on Cardassia, branding the absent king a traitor. A fleet of Cardassian warships, bristling with planet-killing weapons, launched in pursuit of Sirefather. Philip's heart raced as he called an emergency meeting at NASA headquarters. "Sir, we have one alien ship headed right for us, with an entire armada chasing it. I think a huge conflict is about to erupt in our backyard." World leaders and top military brass huddled with NASA experts, with Philip taking point. "Based on the transmissions, I believe someone extremely high-ranking is on that first ship. Whoever they are, the rest of the aliens are desperate to stop them." The situation turned dire as the Cardassian fleet reached Earth orbit. Sirefather's ship arrived moments later. As if swatting a fly, the Cardassian flagship vaporized an old NASA satellite, sending chunks of molten debris raining into the atmosphere. "Surrender, Sirefather!" The fleet commander's voice boomed across Earth's airwaves. "Return at once or watch the humans burn!" With a pained look, Sirefather broadcast a message to humanity. "People of Earth, do not interfere. I will not let you pay for my choices." Then his ship shook as a small pod ejected from it and plunged toward the Rocky Mountains. The pod left a flaming trail through the sky as Cardassian energy beams crackled past it. Philip's instruments tracked its descent. He turned to the ashen-faced generals. "Our weapons can't touch those ships, but I think that pod is our best shot at ending this. I need to get to that crash site immediately before the aliens do. The fate of Earth may depend on it." As alarms blared and UFO reports flooded the news, Philip raced to assemble an expedition into the mountains, praying he could reach the alien king before the Cardassian fleet located the pod. The survival of two civilizations hung in the balance. Philip pushed the gas pedal to the floor, his fingers tightening on the steering wheel as he raced along the winding mountain roads. In the rearview mirror, the sky lit up with flashes of energy weapons and explosions as the alien fighters clashed with the hopelessly outmatched human jets. General Thompson's voice crackled over the radio. "Richardson, I don't know what the hell you think you're doing, but you better not be leading that thing back to my base." Philip grabbed the handset. "Negative, General. I'm trying to get him away from populated areas. Sir, he says he wants to help us. We need to hear him out before—" "Son, I've got my orders. That alien doesn't set one tentacle on U.S. soil while it's still twitching." The line went dead. In the back of the armored car, the wounded Sirefather coughed, dark blood staining his elaborate robes. "Your people are brave, but they cannot win this fight. Not without help." Philip glanced back at him. "Yeah, well, we're not real big on letting ET phone home either, but if you're on the level about wanting to help us, then I'm all ears." The radio crackled again. "Contact! We've got bogies touching down all over the mountain. Oh God, they're cutting us to pieces." Philip heard the distinctive whine of Cardassian energy weapons, followed by screams. He tightened his grip on the wheel. A flash of light lit up the evening sky, and a shockwave rocked the vehicle. The electronics sputtered and died. "What the hell was that?" one of the soldiers yelled. "EMP," Philip said grimly. "They're trying to disable our vehicles and communications." The car rolled to a stop, the engine dead. In the distance, Philip could see more Cardassian ships descending through the clouds. "Sergeant, get the king into the mine, ASAP. We'll cover you." The soldiers piled out, taking up defensive positions around the car as the enemy ships grew larger. Inside the mine, Philip helped Sire-Father onto a dusty cot. The old king's breathing was labored, his skin pale. "The elements, the minerals your world is blessed with." Sire-Father grasped Philip's arm with surprising strength. "My people have grown lazy, dependent on them. They will tear your earth asunder to possess them." Gunfire and alien shrieks echoed from outside the mine entrance. The soldiers were buying them time, but not much. Philip leaned in close. "You said you wanted to help us. We're running out of options here, Your Majesty. If you've got an ace up your sleeve, now's the time." Sire-Father met his gaze, a glint of something hard and determined in his eyes. He reached into his robes and pulled out a strange, crystalline device. "Take this. It is an encyclopedic data store containing all the collected knowledge of the Cardassian Empire. Technology, science, weapons, everything you'll need to stand against them." Philip took the device, feeling its weight in his palm. "Why? Why turn against your own people?" The ground shook as more dropships landed outside. Sire-Father smiled sadly. "My people have lost their way, but you humans, you still have the spark, the fire to push beyond, to explore, to fight. Don't let the Cardassians extinguish that." The old king shuddered and went limp, his breathing shallow. Philip checked his pulse. It was faint, erratic. He didn't have long. The sounds of battle grew closer, alien shouts and energy blasts echoing through the mine shafts. They were out of time. Philip thumbed on Sire-Father's communicator. "Cardassian command ship. This is Dr. Philip Richardson of Earth. I know you're here for Sire-Father and the minerals you value." A harsh alien voice filled the chamber. "You have one planetary rotation to surrender the king and submit to Cardassian rule, or your species will be eradicated." Philip swallowed hard. He looked down at the data device, praying it held the key to saving his world. No deal. See, before he passed out, Sire-Father told us about a doomsday device he smuggled down with him. A device that will render every scrap of rare Earth elements on this planet completely inert and unusable. Hand over the king or we all go home empty-handed. The line went silent. Philip could practically hear the rage simmering on the other end. "You would doom your own world over one man?" Philip stood firm, his finger hovering over the dead man's switch Sire-Father had pressed into his hand. "If it keeps humanity free from the likes of you, bet your ass I would." He heard shouts and a scuffle through the comm line, imagining the bridge of the Cardassian ship in chaos as they weighed the possibility that Sire-Father had actually armed the humans with such a device. Outside the mine, the energy blasts fell silent. Philip held his breath, praying his bluff would hold. The fate of the Earth and the inheritance of a dying empire hung on the next few seconds. He glanced down at Sire-Father's still form, wondering how a decadent king's high-stakes endeavor would change the course of human history. The mine complex rumbled as Cardassian energy blasts pounded the surrounding mountainside. Philip and his team huddled behind makeshift barricades, their weapons at the ready. Sire-Father stirred on the cot, his eyes fluttering open. "We're out of options," Philip said grimly. "Any ideas, Your Majesty?" Sire-Father coughed, struggling to sit up. "My shuttle, the self-destruct sequence, it could obliterate the mineral deposits they want." Philip's eyes widened. "That's insane. We'd be vaporized too." "Not if we use it as leverage," Sire-Father replied. "A bluff to force their withdrawal." With no better plan, they made their move. Carrying Sire-Father between them, Philip and his squad fought their way out of the mine. Cardassian disruptor fire sizzled past their heads as they sprinted for cover. "There!" Philip shouted, spotting the downed shuttle. They reached the craft, diving inside as enemy fire intensified. Sirefather hobbled to the control panel, his fingers dancing across alien symbols. A low hum filled the air as the self-destruct primed. Philip grabbed the comm unit. "Cardassian commander, listen up. We've armed Sirefather's shuttle to detonate. You want those minerals? Back off now, or we turn this whole mountain to slag." Tense seconds passed, then the barrage stopped. "You wouldn't dare!" The Cardassian leader's voice crackled through the speaker. "Try us," Philip shot back. 1 hour to clear out or boom." For a moment, it seemed to work. The Cardassian ships pulled back, their weapons powering down. Philip allowed himself a glimmer of hope. Then chaos erupted. Shimmering forms materialized around them. Cloaked Cardassian commandos. Before Philip could react, a stun blast caught him in the chest. He crumpled, helpless as the aliens swarmed the shuttle. When he came to, Sirefather was gone. The shuttle systems were dark, its self-destruct deactivated. Outside, massive Cardassian warships descended through the clouds. "Pitiful humans," the Cardassian commander's voice boomed across the valley. "Your pathetic resistance ends now. We take what we want." Over the next hours, Earth fell. Alien dropships disgorged armies of shock troops. Human military bases were obliterated. Cities burned as civilians fled in terror. Philip and his surviving teammates regrouped, shell-shocked but determined. They tracked Sirefather's biosignature to a Cardassian convoy heading southwest. "One last shot," Philip told his ragtag squad. "We get Sirefather back or Earth is finished." They shadowed the convoy for days, waiting for their moment. When it finally came, they struck hard and fast. Improvised explosives disabled the lead vehicles. Snipers picked off drivers and gunners. In the confusion, Philip's team fought their way to the prisoner transport. Sirefather stumbled out, battered but alive. "You came for me?" "Couldn't let you have all the fun," Philip quipped, helping him to cover. As they sped away in a commandeered vehicle, Sirefather revealed his desperate plan. "There's a thermonuclear device. If we can detonate it inside their new base, we might cripple their command structure." "That's a hell of a Hail Mary," Philip said. "The fallout alone." Sirefather nodded grimly. "It will devastate the region, but spare most of your world. The alternative is total Cardassian rule." Philip looked at his team, seeing the weight of the choice in their eyes. Sacrifice thousands to save billions. The fate of Earth hung on their decision. Philip stared at Sirefather, his eyes sharp. "A nuke? That's your plan?" "It's our only option," Sirefather replied, his voice heavy. "The electromagnetic pulse will cripple their systems." Philip ran a hand through his hair, pacing the cramped hideout. Outside, the distant rumble of Cardassian ships filled the air. Time was running out. "All right," Philip said finally. "Let's do it." Sirefather got to work, his long fingers dancing over alien components as he rigged the crude device. The rest of the team watched in tense silence. "It's ready," Sirefather announced. "Now we must get it inside their base." They moved under cover of darkness, disguised as prisoners. Philip's heart pounded as they approached the towering gates of the Cardassian stronghold. A guard barked something in an alien language. "Captured insurgents," Sirefather replied smoothly in Cardassian. The guard nodded, waving them through. Philip exhaled slowly as they entered the belly of the beast. Once inside, all hell broke loose. Alarms blared as they fought their way toward the central power nexus. Disruptor fire sizzled past Philip's head as he dove for cover. "We're pinned down!" he shouted over the din of battle. Sirefather's eyes narrowed in concentration as he interfaced with a nearby console. Suddenly, the base's own defense turrets swiveled, opening fire on the Cardassian troops. "Go!" Sirefather yelled. "I'll hold them off." Philip sprinted for the reactor core, the nuke clutched to his chest. He slammed it into place just as Sirefather arrived. "It's done," Philip panted. Sirefather nodded grimly, initiating the reactor overload. Run! They fled as the countdown ticked away. The ground shook as twin explosions rocked the facility. A blinding flash lit up the night sky. When Philip's vision cleared, he saw devastation. The base was a smoking crater. All around, Cardassian ships plummeted from the sky, their systems fried by the electromagnetic pulse. But as the dust settled, the true cost became clear. Radioactive fallout drifted over nearby towns. The death toll, both human and alien, was staggering. "We've bought some time," Sirefather said softly, "but this is just getting started." Across the globe, humanity seized its chance. Battered armies rallied, pushing back against the reeling invaders. Key cities were reclaimed in desperate battles. In the uneasy quiet that followed, Sirefather opened a channel to the Cardassian fleet. "This is Sirefather," he transmitted. "I propose a ceasefire. In exchange for leaving Earth in peace, I offer to share the technological marvels that drew me here." There was a long pause before a reply came. "We will consider your offer." Philip knew the reprieve was temporary. As they prepared for the next phase, he met Sirefather's gaze. "Whatever comes next," Philip said, "we'll face it together." Philip and Sirefather stood before the Cardassian commander, their faces etched with exhaustion. The makeshift conference room, hastily assembled in the ruins of a former human military base, buzzed with tension. "Our peoples have bled enough," Sirefather said, his voice carrying the weight of countless lives lost. "Together we can forge a future beyond our wildest dreams." Philip nodded, gesturing to the holographic display between them. "Look at what we've already achieved by combining our knowledge. These advancements in energy production alone could revolutionize both our civilizations." The Cardassian commander's eyes narrowed, his scaled fingers drumming on the table. "And what guarantee do we have that you won't use this technology against us?" "The same guarantee you give us," Philip replied evenly. "Mutual assured destruction. But more than that, the promise of mutual prosperity." For a moment it seemed the commander might refuse. Then with a sharp nod, he extended his hand. "Very well, we have an accord." As Philip grasped the alien's hand, a commotion erupted outside. The door burst open, revealing a group of heavily armed Cardassians. "Traitor," their leader snarled, leveling a weapon at the commander. "You would make deals with these vermin." Chaos engulfed the room. Philip dove for cover as energy blasts scorched the walls. Through the chaos, he saw Sirefather being dragged away, struggling against his captors. "Philip!" Sirefather shouted. "Don't let them—" His words were cut off as a stun blast struck him. The renegade Cardassians retreated, leaving destruction in their wake. Hours later, Philip huddled with his team in a hidden bunker, poring over stolen schematics of the Cardassian flagship. "It's a suicide mission," one of his lieutenants muttered. "Maybe," Philip agreed, tracing the path to the ship's reactor core. "But it's our only shot at ending this war once and for all." They moved under cover of darkness, using salvaged Cardassian tech to slip past the ship's outer defenses. The corridors were a maze of alien architecture, every step fraught with danger. Two of Philip's team fell to Cardassian patrols before they reached the reactor chamber. As they prepared to breach the final door, a familiar voice crackled over the ship's comm system. "Attention, human intruders," the Cardassian leader sneered. "We have your precious Sirefather. Surrender now or watch him die." Philip's heart raced as he assessed their options. The reactor core loomed before them, its pulsing energy promising salvation or doom. "Philip," Sirefather's voice suddenly filled his ear, barely above a whisper. "I'm transmitting vital data to your device. Don't let my sacrifice be in vain." Philip's eyes widened as he realized what Sirefather intended. "No, there has to be another way." "There isn't," Sirefather replied, his voice tinged with sadness and grit. "Save your people, Philip. Save both our peoples from this madness." With trembling hands, Philip initiated the overload sequence. Alarms blared throughout the ship as energy levels spiked beyond safe parameters. "It's done," Philip choked out, fighting back tears. I'm sorry. Don't be, Sire Father said softly. This is the dawn of a new era for humanity. Make it count. The ship bucked and shuddered around them as the reactor went critical. Philip and his remaining team raced for their escape pod, the corridors behind them consumed by blinding light. As they jettisoned away from the dying flagship, Philip watched the massive vessel tear itself apart. The explosion lit up the sky, raining debris across the Earth's atmosphere in a deadly light show. In the days that followed, Philip worked tirelessly to decode and implement the data Sire Father had sent. With each breakthrough, humanity pushed back against the weakened Cardassian forces. Cities lay in ruins, and the scars of war ran deep across the planet's surface. Yet amidst the devastation, Philip saw signs of hope. Humans and the remaining peaceful Cardassians worked side by side, rebuilding what was lost and forging a new path forward. Standing atop a hill overlooking the ruins of what was once New York City, Philip clutched Sire Father's data device. The weight of all they had lost and all they had yet to gain pressed upon him. We'll make it count, he whispered to the wind, his eyes fixed on the horizon where the first.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.